Today on Florida Sportsman, Project Dreamboat. The experts at Two Rivers Boatworks put the 36-foot Yellowfin to the test.
Full throttle and the skin on your face flaps. It's an amazing experience.
The owner of the 23-foot Seacraft at Wildfire Marine checks in on the progress of his build.
So far, I'm pretty pleased with how it's going. We're on schedule, relatively on budget, so everything's going well.
George Labonte joins Dreamboat owner Jeff Knowles aboard his fully restored classic 20-foot Seacraft.
Jeff has always been an admirer of the Potter-built Seacrafts, and an opportunity came along to buy one, and he took advantage of it.
And Two Rivers Boatworks finalizes the custom paint job on the 27-foot Stuart.
I can't wait for the owner to come and have a look at the boat, and I can't wait to see the boat once it's rigged and ready to get on the water.
All coming up on Florida Sportsman, Project Dreamboat. Join us as we follow one-off builds to all-out restorations in Stuart, Florida's Dreamboat District, home to some of the best custom boat builders in the world. From modest to over-the-top, industry experts from the district's premier facilities show how it's done. Fiberglass repair, custom paintwork, engine rigging, electronics installations, and more. And boating editor George Labonte shares the stories of boaters who have already turned their dreams into reality. This is Florida Sportsman, Project Dreamboat.
So at Two Rivers Boatworks, we got this 36 Yellowfin that needed a considerable amount of work. We got the boat done and we're ready to get the boat on the water. Got it loaded up and we took it down and launched it. The water was glass smooth. We got the boat on the water and we got our first opportunity to really test this boat. So when we got this boat, it had the 400Rs on. However, it wasn't quite where it should be. We moved the motors from 28 off center to 26 on center. We also put a jack plate on the transom of the boat, and I have to admit it makes a huge difference. I haven't quite experienced a boat that responds to the throttle like this boat does. It is incredibly fast, possibly one of the fastest boats I've been on. Full throttle and the skin on your face flaps. It's an amazing experience. When we got this boat in, one of the major concerns were there was a cracking sound coming from it. So every time you throttled up, you'd almost have a popping sound coming out of the transom. So the owner's exact words were to us, run this boat as hard as you possibly can. Let's find the faults now in the boat and not at a later stage. And I have to say, she behaved flawlessly. This boat was literally getting up to 68, 70 area pretty easily. It was not really overstressing the boat. The boat felt comfortable. It felt definitely manageable. I mean, it was really not much effort to handle the boat at almost 70 miles an hour. One of the things about this boat that I really love driving it is when you really pin it, the bow comes up and you think, wow, when's this boat getting onto the plane? And within like a split second, it's on the plane and it's running away. It's the most remarkable feeling. It's almost like, you know, an aircraft taking off, the bow's up and bang, it's gone. I have to say the boat sort of met or exceeded my expectations on my initial vision. The seafoam bottom is amazing. It looks awesome on the boat. It's not too much, it's the right amount. The seafoam green under the T-top is awesome. The seafoam on in the toe space under the kill box and the leaning post, it makes a difference. It makes a statement that this is a custom boat. This is something that somebody spent money on, and this is a boat that somebody can be really, really proud of.
When we return, FS Boating editor George Labonte joins Dreamboat owner Jeff Knowles aboard his fully restored classic 20-foot Seacraft in this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment. This segment brought to you by Bennett, superior by design.
50 years ago, Bennett Marine changed boating forever, inventing the trim tab, helping boaters get on plane faster, reduce bow rise, correct listing, improve efficiency, and increase performance. Over 1 million systems later, worldwide, we offer durable and dependable trim tabs and hatch lifters for all boat sizes. Your only source for both hydraulic and electric systems. Industry-leading innovation, plus the best warranty and service available. Get Bennett on board and enjoy the ride.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat. Join us for this week's One Man's Dreamboat segment with Florida Sportsman boating editor George Labonte as we feature anglers who have already launched their dream. Florida Sportsman began these features 30 years ago, and the dreams just keep getting better.
Today we head to Boca Grande, Florida to meet up with Jeff and Bart Knowles. Jeff and Bart are brothers who recently completed a restoration project on a pair of 1972 classic boats. The story today begins with Jeff. Now, Jeff is the owner of a 1972 20-foot classic Potter-built Seacraft. A Potter-built design was a boat that was built back in the 70s, and it's a highly sought-after boat for Seacraft fans. Jeff has always been an admirer of the Potter-built Seacrafts, and an opportunity came along to buy one, and he took advantage of it.
A family friend had one, drove up to Gainesville from Sarasota, and it was full of pine needles, and there was a cat living in it. And we ran the cat out of there, got it down to Sarasota, cranked up once we got the old fuel out, ran great, happy with it, but it needed a little bit of work, and knew it was going to be a project.
Now, Jeff's a firefighter in Boca Grande, Florida, and fortunately for him, he's got a lot of firefighter buddies that had some experience building boats, and they all decided to jump in on the project together.
We started slowly, just fixing a few things on the boat. And then I made the mistake of recruiting all my firefighter buddies at the Boca Grande Fire Department and other fire departments and my brother to come help me one day and cut the floor out and put a new floor in. So I probably went up to the store to get fiberglass, meaning beer. And when I got back to the house, they had gone crazy with the sawzalls, and the floor and the transom and everything was all cut out. So we had no other choice then. It's either scrap it or go to town.
Abandoning ship was not going to be an option for Jeff. He decided to go in head first.
The 20-foot Seacraft, 19.6, and we really wanted to make the boat a little bit bigger. We knew a bracket with the Armstrong, the swim platform, that's really where we wanted to go. And we decided to put a nice arch in the back, completely close that in. Well, we got into there, realized the stringers were good, so we really lucked out there. Able to salvage a fuel tank and go ahead and get that in place. So we decided to keep the T-top, and we had to rebuild the console. The original console was real flimsy. There's no Cusa, not even any wood in there. Cut it out, measured it, copied it, and built that. And shockingly, it turned out square and fit right in. T-top popped down right over it, so we just had to do new canvas on the T-top. We used all grip to paint the boat inside and out, did the ice blue on the exterior, but there were some challenges with that. Again, not having a paint booth, trying to be safe and environmentally friendly, painting with all grip. So we turned my buddy's garage into the best paint booth that we possibly could. And it wouldn't fit completely in there either. So we got the garage door down, the tongue of the boat sticking out in there, spraying all grip, but it turned out nice, and all the prep work that we did beforehand in the driveway paid off. Get the bracket that we wanted, 30-inch setback with the flotation from Armstrong. They did a great job of telling us exactly what bracket we needed. So when I originally bought the boat had a 140 Suzuki DF on it, a 2002, and it was getting a little tired, that old 140, and we repowered it with the 150 Suzuki, and it's been amazing. The interesting story on that is we waited for the motor, finally got it, and we had a trip. We took this boat to the Tortugas, to Fort Jefferson. Ended up getting the motor the night before. Hauled it down the Keys, dumped in the water, took off 70 miles down to Fort Jefferson, and it ran great. Made the trip and really sold me. So repowering was something that I'm glad we did now. The nice thing about this particular hull and this size boat is it's manageable. It's versatile. It's It's only a 20-foot boat, but it's very, very capable offshore boat as well as inshore. And I think that was the main reason we were looking at this boat when we decided to get it, was, you know, just the sheer versatility of it. We can put a lot of people on the boat, get great fuel mileage, and we can go just about anywhere we want to go in the boat reasonably. I couldn't be happier with it. Family loves it, loves getting on it, you know, and it's kind of, you know, a boat that I always dreamed of, having an old Seacraft and doing the build like we did, which I never thought we'd really go to the extent that we did, especially doing it in the driveway. Doing, again, our redneck build. So worked out really good, worked out well.
Now, Jeff's firefighter buddies weren't the only people that helped him with this job. In fact, his older brother, Bart, was pretty instrumental in doing a lot of the finish work on the boat, and he had a little bit more experience than Jeff did in these kind of projects. In fact, Bart owned his own 1906 Aquasport, which is also a 1972 boat, that I don't think he had any plans of doing a rehab on it, but once he saw what his little brother ended up with, it became apparent job number 2 was getting ready to get started.
After an initial investment of $5,000, spending $19,000 on repairs and custom modifications, the cost of Jeff's Dreamboat comes to a total of $24,000. When we return, the owner of the 23-foot Seacraft at Wildfire Marine stops by to see his project dreams becoming reality. This segment brought to you by Taco Marine. Control the edge.
Safety is paramount when boating. That's why Taco developed the Grand Slam 800 VHF antenna mount. Easily raise and lower your boat's antenna by simply unlocking the crank handle from the base and turning. It's quick, easy, and best of all, safe. No more climbing on gunnels, seats, or tops just to adjust your antenna. Find out more about the Grand Slam 800 VHF antenna mount at tacomarine.com.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman, Project Dreamboat. Join us as the owner of the 23-foot Seacraft at Wildfire Marine checks in on the progress of his build.
We've got Corey's 23 Seacraft pretty much done fiberglass-wise. We're in the fairing stage on the interior pieces. Corey came down to see us last week, and what we did is we wanted to go over the seats in the front, make sure he approved of the way we built them. And we also had a few other decisions to make. He had a little bit of leeway as to how far forward he wanted to place the console, so we went over that. He seems to be very happy with what we've done. He got more seating than he really was anticipating out of the whole deal in the front, so he's pretty happy with it.
So far, I'm pretty pleased with how it's going. We're on schedule, relatively on budget. We're hoping to get it finished up in the next 2 months, I'd say. So everything's going well.
Once Corey and I were done going over the boat, we had Bobby Birdsall come up, and we went over anything that Bobby needed for me to prepare for the top. Corey had seen some backrest, and he wanted to, on the seating in the front, he wanted to be able to use it as sort of a chase lounge type seating. And Bobby brought up 3 or 4 samples of backrest that he had. We have to do minimal work to make it work. So I think it's going to be a good addition to the boat.
This is what we call a forward back seat backrest. It could mount right here like this.
Right.
This arm could be manipulated. What's kind of cool about this is you can take it off. You know, this is like billet aluminum that we make, it's anodized. That can go on there. So this is one style. But I'm kind of with you. This would be kind of cool, just set right in there, slide that out, and then you're only looking at this piece here.
The next thing we went over was how we were going to mount the console and deciding the leg placement.
I think I like the idea of this post coming down to the ground.
Well, it is tying it into the deck, you know, you're not solely relying on the console. I mean, the console's, it's cord, looks like it's real strong. So you could do it either way, but definitely we could go down there.
How far would it come out on the floor?
Well, you'd want to obviously stay in close. Normally a leg comes out about 3 inches from the, you know, the OD of everything, and you can't really get it in much more than that.
A few of the options that Bobby talked to Corey about was he had to decide on whether or not he was going to go with a hard top or a skin or a canvas top, anything like that. And so those are decisions that Corey has to make before Bobby can really get going on his top.
T-top wise, like on this boat, I kind of like just a single bow T-top. In the era of this boat, You could do what we call a double bow, where the canvas comes around.
And use canvas top versus hard top?
I mean, a hard top is nice. You're spending probably about 2 times the amount of money. Canvas top, I think, would be sweet.
Okay.
And then the canvas lasts a long time. We use Gore-Tex thread. Everybody in the industry uses, I like Weblon. It's a vinyl type material, doesn't leak water, but it doesn't come in a whole bunch of crazy colors.
I don't care about a whole bunch of crazy colors.
The next thing Corey had to figure out was his leaning post and rocket launcher, what size he was going to have with it and what options with it.
I kind of like a fixed back.
Yep.
But it's going to take up a tiny bit more room. It's a little bit cheaper to manufacture, so it's a little cheaper to purchase. And most guys don't end up taking the backrest off and on unless you're a real serious fishing guy, live bait guy or whatever. So the fixed back does give you the ability to keep all your rod holders up there. We got some pretty neat drink holders. There's a little tray.
The last thing we had to go over was Corey was thinking about putting a drop-down rear seat along the transom. We built that back transom wall to carry that. We'd simply have to put a couple hard spots in wherever they decide to put their hinges, and it'll work just fine.
Bobby is definitely a leader in the industry, and I met him about 3 months ago and really liked what he had to say, toured his facility, and liked this product, so he's definitely the way we want to go.
He's done a million of them, so he knows exactly which questions to ask, because he knows what he needs to have for information to design the top. I mean, his father did it for years, and Bobby was right there when he was a little kid from there till now. So when you just do one thing, you get really good at it over the years.
I think that really seeing the console today and how that's going to position up, and talking with Bobby about the T-tops and how that was all going to work, the forward seating really turned out well, which is the first time that Mike has done forward seating on a Seacraft. So I think it's really all coming together.
When we come back, the experts at Two Rivers Boatworks tackle finishing a very custom paint job on a 27-foot Stuart. This segment brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here.
An entirely new species of extreme predator is moving offshore. The Yamaha 5.6-liter V8 XTO offshore outboard. Extreme big block thrust and power in the industry's first direct injection 4-stroke. Quiet, efficient, powerful, and proven Yamaha reliability. More than an outboard, it's a fully integrated power system. The all-new Yamaha V8 XTO offshore.
Welcome back to Florida Sportsman, Project Dreamboat. Join us as the experts at Two Rivers Boatworks lay down a high-gloss metallic paint job on a custom 27-foot Stuart.
So over at Two Rivers Boatworks, we're in the fortunate position to have got one of Stuart Boatworks' boats over here to do a custom paint job on it. And we are getting ready to paint the hull sides. We're handing the boat over to the French twins to paint. These two guys have literally grown up building boats, and they have a wealth of experience that far exceeds their years. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these two can pull off.
All right, my name's Sterling French. I'm here at Two Rivers Boatworks. I'm in charge of overseeing all the composite work and all of the prep work up into paint.
My name's Steele French. We're twins. I come in and basically pull the trigger on all the top coat.
We grew up right here, born and raised right here in Stuart. We've been building boats and working composites from start to finish with local companies since we were about 14, 15 years old.
17.
No, we built at L&H the 33 for Doug and
we
us.
were kids like holding up glass covered in resin.
It don't matter. Okay,
yeah.
So, but at 15, I got a ride to Bonadeo Boatworks to build his first hulls from Dad before I got my freaking Toyota Previa on the road. I got dropped off there. So, I didn't even have a license, dude, and we were building the freaking first ones for Bonadeo.
Yeah,
so.
I remember I accidentally punched you in the face at school at the end of the day, and you wanted to give me a ride to the job. I had to walk, so it was high school, 10th, 11th grade. Yeah.
Good times. So we've been around the block, you know, with the paint stuff, man.
So what's cool about this project is we're taking a gel coat boat all the way to finish in one day. Basically what we did is, well, what he did and his crew, they prepped the boat with 320 and taped off everything they didn't want paint on. So from there, you give it a nice blow wipe, get all your dirt off, and then you want to use all prep and clean the surface really well.
When you prep for a paint job, it's very, very crucial that you pretty much get in your mind that it's like a sterile field. I mean, like a surgical room, zero contamination. You want to make sure that every little speck of dust is off that paint job. If that means tacking it 2 or 3 times, basically whatever you got to do to minimize dust is definitely going to help the end product.
After that, the reason that we're using all Craft's quick build is because the hull is perfect out of the mold. So there's not a whole lot of prep work to do. It's one coat application. You lay it on just like a finished paint. You want to lay it on nice and wet, and you'll see it has good coverage too. You let that flash for, I recommend 30 minutes, and it lays out really nice. One other major aspect to the project is that you want to clean your gun properly in between your sealer, in between your base. I recommend using all grips thinner, the thinner that's used for the product. You won't have any of those leftover remnants trying to spit out of your gun and affecting your next coat, especially with your clear. After that, the application with the SE base is a 2-coat application. It's basically a finish coat for your first coat, and then a finish coat, your second coat, and you do a drop coat, kind of mist in to help those metallics all blend together as you finish a section, and that really shows in the finish. So from there, we're using the Allcraft HDT clear, and your application with that is basically like all your clears, but it's on another level of quality.
So what makes the HDT clear so amazing is the application process. You can put the HDT clear on, and appreciate that. What's so amazing about the HDT clear, like I was saying, is you basically put a couple coats on, 2 wet coats, just like my brother said. The next day, you can scuff this with a DA at 500 grit and go ahead and do 2 more nice wet coats. And why the HDT is so amazing is because after those 2 last coats, you get a perfect mirror finish, which is what everybody wants when you got a high-end product. You want that perfect mirror finish, and that's what you get.
The French twins did a fantastic job on painting the Stuart Boatworks 27. We pulled it out in the sun today. Wow, 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 wow. What a good looking boat. I can't wait for the owner to come and have a look at the boat, and I can't wait to see the boat once it's rigged and ready to get on the water.
Next week on Florida Sportsman Project Dreamboat, L&H Boats takes on building a completely customized 33. Two Rivers Boatworks brings a tricked-out 39-foot deep impact back to life. And George Labonte joins Dreamboat owner Bart Knowles aboard his fully restored 1972 20-foot Aquasport.